Camera? Quiet on the set? Hang on one second. Alright, action. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. We are just stacking up projects left and right around here. Yeah, we're running low on time every day to do it. But while we're waiting for that one to cool down, for today's actual project, let's talk about the upcoming project right here. We got ourselves another 12 valve project, and I'll admit, I think I took the 12 valves for granted quite a bit back in the day when they were everywhere and pretty easy and cheap to get. But we got one back here. Now this is something I bought back in the day, but before I go into the whole story of this truck's pretty extreme experiences, 97 12 valve, 4-wheel drive, extended cab long bed, yeah, NV 4500 manual transmission. It's got the man's mission in there, the holy grail of 12 valves as far as I'm concerned. The only step above this would be a 98 with the suicide door on the back, but those things are they're holy grail, definitely. Hard to get a hold of one of those. But one thing about a 97, because I do reside in California, love and hate as much as you want on it, it's pretty nice here, regardless of political crap. But one thing about this is a loophole. 97 and older diesels don't have to smog these things here, so that's probably one thing that really spiked the market on how much these things are worth. But the story behind this sucker, first of all, it was mine, it's not mine anymore. When I came back in 2014 after graduating, this truck was for sale on Craigslist. It had a bum turbo, the white truck, not the gray one on the back. But the old boy didn't want to haggle a good deal on the white truck, so I paid what he wanted for the white truck, but he threw in the gray truck, which is the bed off of it there. And the problem with the gray truck, it did have a Cummins engine in it, no transmission, and the front end was wrecked. So I paid 4,000 bucks for two trucks. Mind you, I could pull the engine out of each of them and sell it for the same exact price. So these engines go for easily 2,000 bucks, no problem around here. But I took it back to the house, and a lot of these dents are new. They weren't in there when I bought the truck. But I put about 50 hours of work in this thing. New turbo, killer dowel pin. I did power steering pump type stuff, all the gaskets leaking and that stuff. And I tried to make this thing so it was foolproof for when I went to flip it, because it was very easily flippable territory. And when I was done with it, this sucker didn't leak nothing. So that, I was pretty proud of that. It's hard to do on an older rig, trying to get all the leaks out of it. But she didn't have any leaks. Put her up for sale on Craigslist, and my buddy, who lives at my house now, renting a room from us, he decided he wanted to buy it. So I cut the price for him a little bit, and he bought this sucker, and he drove the holy crap out of this truck. He was just racking up miles. I'm gonna say like maybe like 700 a week. It seemed like he was, I don't even know where he was going. But it developed a power steering leak. Don't know what it was, but neither one of us had real much time to dive into it, so he just kept adding stuff to it. You know, once you get in the motion, it sucks, but he just kept adding power steering fluid until the power steering pump eventually failed. And yet again, we still didn't have any time to fix the truck ourselves, so he had his buddy do it, his buddy's shop, actual shop, license and all that. Now it gets really difficult and risky having your buddy work on your stuff in situations especially like this. But power steering pump is right in front of the oil pressure sending unit, and either taking that pump out or putting the new one in, they broke the oil pressure sending unit off, put the power steering pump on there, they fired the truck up, they drove it around town. Two things about that: there's no oil pressure registering on the gauges. That's a pretty big red flag to me. Once I've been working on something, first thing I check when it fires up if we got oil pressure. But apparently his buddy's shop, they weren't, you know, they didn't like checking oil pressure, because you don't need oil pressure if you're trying to blow up your engine. That works that way, but if you're trying to keep it alive, oil pressure is definitely nice. So the guy drove it around, tested the truck, power steering worked good, but it was just dumping oil out. So that's the second thing. If the sensor's not there, there's a hole in the block that's pressurized, oil coming out the side. So the guy drove it for a little bit, my buddy hopped in it, without even thinking, you know, because mechanic said it's all good. He didn't even check the oil pressure for some reason. So I'm assuming both of them are at fault at this point, but he drove this thing up the summit, cooked the engine. It had a nasty freaking clap to it. It was just wholly terrible. So to summarize the next two issues he had with it: rear end. Don't know what happened to the rear end, but the it just stripped out the ring and pinion. Don't know why. Have no idea. So we just snatched one out of another parts truck, threw it in there, on he went. Did that in an afternoon, no big deal. Then the transmission started acting up. Mind you, this did have a built automatic in it, and she died. She died real quick. So the truck sat, and he went and bought that mega cab, which he just got rid of. So it opened up some funding to actually finish this truck, because 06 mega cab pretty much sucks compared to a 97 12 valve. So we went and bought a another old boy wrecked his truck. We got the 5-speed out of his truck, all the pedals and everything. Paid $2 grand for the complete swap. So she's got the swap in her now. And I'll tell you, if you guys are OG to the channel and realize that I had a 96 identical to this except for red, that we did the 5-speed swap, that's what initially got me into wanting to work on diesel trucks and tractors and all that stuff on a full-time basis, was doing the swap on that truck. So this truck having a swap, honestly, it really has got me thinking about grandma's truck, because I do have another NV 4500 that is ready to go into another truck, but I was kind of thinking of leaving grandma's truck automatic. But after driving this, oh, it's rough. But like I said, it's freed up some cash. It's got a new dash in here, new roof liner, new carpet. These are the seats out of the gray truck, and they're still, I mean, pretty dang good shape. Oh, does it? Oh yeah, so it goes forward. The thing's a little sticky, but the interior now is pretty fresh. It's got some, you know, it's missing some screws and stuff, but the bed is perfect condition. Don't need to touch that one bit. I told him if he doesn't do anything with this truck, I'm gonna seal the bed, put it on grandma's. So I got his button gear, and so we gotta go through some stuff. The paint was not this bad 5 years ago, but after sitting in a field for 5 years, it's gone downhill. So this thing doesn't really need too much more. And if you guys have second gen and he did the little cable for the 4-wheel drive, for the little front end locker upper instead of the vacuum assist one or vacuum pump actuated, let me know how that sucker works, because I'm pretty interested in getting one of those for this truck and for Dad's truck. And if it's good, obviously I'll put one on grandma's truck, but mainly for backing up a trailer or something, you could put it in 4-low. If you're on blacktop, you can put it in 4-low and disconnect the front end, so you got a nice creeper gear and you don't have to worry about your truck turning into a skid steer. But anyway, that's the story on the truck. We're gonna repaint this sucker now that we got a shop. We're gonna do all the body work and everything ourselves on that sucker. My uncle, he's done quite a few restorations, so I'm gonna have him lead the process and show us the ropes on that, and then we're gonna bring it over to grandma's truck. But there's my 12 valve back there, and I'm definitely going red. And oh, what do you guys think? Should I go stick shift on this thing? I really didn't want to, but I really obviously do. So I just gotta get the shifter and the clutch pedal, and then I'll have everything I need for the swap. So if you guys also, if you know a place to source that, rather than trying to find a junkyard or something, because gosh dang, they want more than a truck for pedals at the junkyard. But more talking, I'm sorry, but we're gonna try and do a swap the actuator on my turbo. You guys can see that thing is brand new actuators, like it is brand spanking new. We're hoping that's the issue, but what I'm gonna do is, I had a hunch. I don't know if this hunch will be accurate, but after 10 minutes of talking to you guys, if you're still sticking through us, thank you. But I had a hunch, if I take the truck all the way back to bone stock computered wise, I'm not gonna mechanically take it back to bone stock, I'm gonna put my old actuator on there, recalibrate this one, and see what it does. But the thing was actually working coming here. The last like 2 miles driving here worked. So I'm gonna fish around. We'll see if we can find something else. Maybe something went loose in the actuator there. So this is gonna be a long video, a lot of talking, but you could see I had some time to kill waiting for that thing to cool off. But on another note, I'll show you guys my gates. Got my gates installed. Little things you wouldn't think too much of, but if you're a homeowner and you put up some gates, look at my gates over there, gate post. There's a homeless guy sitting right there. What the hell? Okay, that's weird. What the heck? Oh, I completely forgot about this too. I grabbed all of my, well, I grabbed like half of them, my extra truck parts. Stock chromes off my Mega 35s. I gave him some crappy wheels because he talked me down on the price, and some crappy tires. But here's all my extra parts. Intercoolers, tow mirrors. There's like 3 sets of tow mirrors in here. I might give a set away. If you guys are interested in the idea of a giveaway with a set of 3rd gen tow mirrors. They're off of my 08. I have 4th gen style on there now, but they are, you know, you got to push them. They're not electronic. So I might give a set away in the next giveaway, and I'm gonna, I'll do the 10K giveaway soon, okay? But I'm out here talking to a camera. Anyway, all the parts, and I got the hose reel and some gas. I gotta fix the mower over here. Let's get to work. I'm gonna put you guys on a time lapse, and you guys can enjoy me just bobbing and weaving all over the place, because I've talked for 12 minutes now. You guys are complete savages if you stuck through all that story time. Well, tackled my weed eating project. I decided to steal this push weed eater thing from Dad's house. Go to fire it up. It fired up pretty good, but then the belt was off. Belt goes on 3 pulleys. It's not easy to get to. Got it back on there, tightened the belt, and it threw the belt after like 10 minutes, but that thing was killing it. But I'm gonna go ahead and drain the coolant right now, and then we're gonna head up to the house and cook something for dinner. So again, we're gonna be recalibrating my turbo. Oh, going the wrong way. So the VGT turbo is got coolant running through its veins. I tell you, I'm ready just to go back to the pack brake and figure that out in 2nd gen swap, but that's sissy route. You know, we're not gonna learn anything by going that route. But this sucker's cooled off for like the last 2 hours. So I'm gonna let this sucker drain, and then I have to drain my secondary radiator because it's plumbed directly for the turbo. So we're gonna take that sucker off and swap her out. I'll give you guys a tour up the gate or up the driveway. Looks nice. Freaking stoked to have gates. Cleaned off the driveway so we can see what's going on. Yeah, buddy. There's a Casa. Anyway, gonna go inside and fix some dinner. We'll go back to work on the truck. We have that ability now. Late nights, let's get it.
What are you doing, Bear? Don't take my kicks. What are you doing?
Alright guys, back down here. First order of business. Get some lights set up out there, because game plan is if I fail tonight, I need a truck to tow with tomorrow. So this truck needs to be able to get out. That's why that one's kind of out here amongst the birds, so to speak. First thing I'm gonna do, grab the EFI Live. We're gonna take the truck back to stock. So we'll grab the auto cal. This is a hunch. I have no idea. Learning process. We're rolling with the punches. So hook this sucker up, take it back to stock, take the CP5 switch out so I won't be going through the switch trying to recalibrate the other actuator. So let's go. There's my Big Larry tune right there. Full number 1 CSP5 G56. You guys can read it. That's some BS. We don't want that. We're gonna go to stock. If for some reason my auto cal decides to screw me over today because the tuner is an idiot, I'll just go back to full delete with my mini max. Checking. Unlock key. So as we're going to reflash my computer back to stock. Pull the actuator. I can't remember actuator for some reason. So it's really simple for this bird. It is 2 bolts up top and then 2 right here. Just an Allen key. This sucker, now what the process of this is new turbo, it's supposed to be all the way up there. This turbo, it's supposed to be down there. I'll show you guys on the bench because it's a little bit easier. I have another VGT popped out, and this is what I'm going to take my parts off of. So you can see, new one, it's got a line out there. That's up there. This thing actually moves quite a bit freer than that turbo that's over there. So that's got me kind of worried. But if you guys can see down in there, you see this hole, there's another hole inside the casting. This sucker's supposed to be lined up with this hole, it's about right there. And that is about that far from being all the way open to the back. That one, I recalibrated the other day, confirmed, pin timed it and everything. And it wasn't quite where it was, but it's honestly, that thing feels a lot. Here. Oh, as I magnetize a bolt, look at it up here. That's got some heavy resistance compared to that other one. We're gonna put this one on here and see if it makes a difference, because almost sometimes it feels like it's got the symptoms of a what do you call it? Loose wire. Don't know. But let's put this one on there. I believe I got everything tight. Those look tight. Stick this sucker on there. This actuator had 54,000 miles on it, and the one that's in the truck has 4,000. I'm not saying that is the issue, but I'm here, I'm gonna find out. I wanna see if this one is actually bad. I don't know if the one on the truck was bad, but it's an experimental. All right, I'm gonna show you guys real quick. Pin time in this sucker. Obviously you gotta take out the inner fender well. So, take a screwdriver through the actuator arm. We're gonna pin time that sucker, get that nice and straight. Double check it with your flashlight, make sure that pinhole lines up with the hole in the casting, and then go ahead, plug in your actuator, and I'll show you guys how to recalibrate this sucker. Now let the recalibration process begin. Alright, so this thing's Bluetooth scan tool. Plug this thing into port, links up. This is how I found it. It's a lot easier going this route. Dodge, ding. Automotive. You want it to read what the VIN number of the truck is. There's the whole truck. 2008 Dodge Ram. Yes, that's my boy. Establishing connection. Alright, let's go with diagnostics, control unit, powertrain, ECM. Go to special functions. slide it over. Turbo actuator pre-align. Now this is telling you that you got to have the actuator off of the truck and the coolant out, obvious, you know. Has the turbocharger been removed, or has the actuator been removed from the turbocharger? Yes. You can hear it over there. It was just doing a little bit of moving. We can actually go over there now that it's already done its movement. Didn't even think about it, this thing being, it's resetting the ECU now. The actuator, I heard it doing some moving. It just goes back and forth finding its selection. And this sucker just takes a minute. Before, when I did this, it had trouble. Damn, I just heard it move again. But it had trouble. It kept saying error because I had the CP5 switch on, not stock, and then I switched it and it worked fine. Now, install the actuator on the turbo, and then we got to go to the next step. So I'll do that. I have installed the actuator back on the turbocharger. Now we're going to hit OK. Moving it back and forth in there so it sounds like it's able to move the vanes. Turbo actuator self-calibration complete. Escape. Simple as that. So we're done with that process. Now I have to put the coolant back in the truck, and I'm going to utilize the topside creeper to hold the bucket up, and I'm going to siphon this stuff back in there. So I'll show you guys that real quick. Put this tool away. There's my technique for getting the coolant back in there. 6.7 is nice because it's got a little bleeder right there, so it lets a little bit of the air out of the system when it's filling her back up. So I just got the siphon just dumping. Little funnel. Make life a little bit easier. I tell you what, boys, fingers crossed, but there's a lot. Oh, the tunes are coming back on. A lot of me wanted just to bite the bullet and just order second gen swap and just be done with the VGT. But if I do that later on down the road, I'll never know what to do in this situation here. Maybe it's bad recalibration. Maybe the arm was just a little bit off. I don't know. It doesn't make sense that it would have been. So we're gonna find out. We gotta put in the hours, the research, trial and error. All right, I fired her up. Make sure that actuator's not leaking. I spilled some down here. Don't worry about that. I don't know if you guys see that moon, but damn. All right, boys. I turned the brake on inside the truck on idle, and it turned on. Didn't do that before. So I have my little dump trailer back there with all my parts in it I showed you earlier. We're gonna see if this sucker works. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, baby Jesus, let's hope this fixed it. Because we got new tunes coming from CTC or CTT from through Pure Diesel Power, so we'll see if those help. But listen, got exhaust brake, boys. I can hear the VGT actually working right now. Sounds quite a bit different than just a regular turbo. You can hear a pitch change in the turbo as you're revving it up with a deleted truck. Deleted, you can hear it a lot better. Alright boys, this is a moment to see if we can make it through this ditch that I didn't see when I turned around right here. Holy crap. See if this exhaust brake works. dead spot at 2200 RPM, boys. This is the test right here. I'll get you some lights so you can see the road. Downshift into third at high RPM. Oh, boys. Let's try that again. Low RPM, fourth gear. Downshift to third. Ah. I do believe the problem I had with this actuator before, if you didn't watch my earlier videos, it surged, it turned on and off. That might have been my, I just took my seatbelt off as I pulled into the driveway. It might have just been my throttle position sensor, because that went away when I put a new pedal on. But the exhaust brake is working now, working all RPMs like it used to. So now comes the question, is my brand new actuator fine, but the pin time was off on the turbo, and when it recalibrated, it didn't account for that, because I pin timed it back to where it was, but when I took that actuator off, it was tweaked a little bit, like a lot bit. It was all the way to the side, because I filmed that, I'm pretty sure. I hope I did. But let's see here. Oh, turbo. Before, I had a little bit of trouble with lag at the bottom end. Like, jeez. Holy crap, I just freaking, did it smoke now? But regardless, I got new tunes coming. I gotta move the 12 valve. But I do believe we are back in business. So if you guys made it through this whole video, thank you very much. I appreciate the hell out of you. We are gonna wind it down. I gotta unload this trailer. It is 10 o'clock even right now. Get that 12 valve moved out of the way. I think I'll put it where I had grandma's. And so, oh geez, excuse me. So far the exhaust brake is actually working properly. So I'm thinking there, from day one when I put that new turbo on there, the reman turbo with a brand new actuator, and that son of a gun didn't do it. Low power, low end, didn't have power, and then the exhaust brake was always dead, like 2000 to 2500, and like 2600 it would kind of kick back on. But other than that, she didn't have much balls at all in the exhaust brake department. Having the load leash from Pack Brake saved my ass so much when it came to engine braking. If your exhaust brake fails, you still got your load leash to hold you back. Again, that's a Pack Brake item, and it works in tandem with your exhaust brake, and together they work outstanding. Load leash by itself is like a weak exhaust brake, but together they kill it. But anyway, we're gonna hop out, double check for leaks real quick, but I think we're good. I'm gonna tow with this truck tomorrow. We'll double check everything when we got actual 25,000 pounds behind the truck. But let's end this video, boys and girls. The girls' percentage of views is going up for me. Appreciate that, ladies. Anyway, see you guys later. Hit them buttons, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think about this whole process and all that stuff I asked about the 12 valve. Later.